John, I want to first ask you about putting Robert Hight in your number 3 car. What made the decision? What caused you to make the decision on that?
Well, you know, it's I'm not getting any younger, and it's changing of the guard, we call it, the next generation. Eric Medlen, a young kid last year, and Robert Hight spent a lot of seat time last year, made a ton of runs, and he knew his car. Robert was a professional shooter, and you know, with guns, and he really has the focus out there, you know, getting down a lane. Hopefully it'll go to the Christmas tree for reaction time. And but he's a young kid, and he's paid his dues here. He's been here 10 years, and he married my daughter. We just had a grandbaby. That don't hurt. But we're excited for him. But I'm building for the next 5 years. If I'm going to put out a team that sponsors want to invest money like Castrol, GTX, and Syntec, and Ford, and McTool, you know, they want them ready to race. And it takes years, as well as Eric did last year winning his first national event. Bottom line, you need a lot of seat time. And I can give it to him in the next 5 years. And so if I ever have to step out, I got a retirement plan.
What's interesting is that you sought to find a driver inside your team versus going outside of the team.
Well, I went outside the year before and talked to guys that were really top guns out there, and that still are, Bazemore, and you know, guys that, you know, Scelzi, different drivers, Ron Cap, guys that were debating, you know, where they were going or if they had sponsorship and a lot of things. And you know, it's really hard. They're so loyal, you know, to where they've been, where they got their starts. And I just finally decided I got to pull someone right out of the deal. When Tony Petragon left, it was like, man, what do I do now? And Eric was a perfect fit. The key was Eric had to prove himself to give another kid like Robert a chance. You get a company like AAA of Southern California, they invest a lot of money in that car, and they want a good driver that can do the job, not only driving and on the start line, but working with the media, you know, like Gary Densham did. So, and we'll be doing again this year, still working with AAA. Gary will be out there at Pomona with his new hot rod, and I'm really excited for him. He'll do well. But bottom line, it was just a good fit for Eric because of his dad. And when we went to Castro, we said, look at this. They won the championship. This could be good. And I told Robert, if Eric can prove he can get down a racetrack and just do a fairly good job, then I could possibly give you a shot. Eric did the job. We gave Robert a shot. That's the bottom line.
Robert, tell me about your emotions about being selected as driver of this race car.
I'm very lucky. I mean, 10 years ago when I got hired here to work on John's car, I felt I was the luckiest guy then in the world. And it's like now to drive for him and drive a fuel funny car, I mean, I'm not even sure it's real. I'm amazed.
Was that your dream all along, to get into the driver's seat?
Yeah, I've always dreamed about driving, but it's like being a little kid wanting to play baseball, and you know, it's all a dream, and I never actually thought I'd get to do it. And last year when John put me in the car to test, I thought my dreams had come true then. Now this year I'm a driver on his team, so very fortunate.
When did he first hint at the idea of you taking over the seat?
Well, I think it was more me begging him and showing him how bad I wanted to do it. That's pretty much what happened.
You've been a part of this group for 10 years, so obviously you gel pretty well with these guys, so that obviously helps in solidifying yourself as a race team.
Yes, it does. I know what these guys have to go through and how much work they go through, and I've worked on the cars. I think that's going to help me in the long run, knowing how the cars work and how they operate. I still have a lot to learn, and John will be the greatest teacher.
I would think even though you lack experience as a driver, because you've done a lot of tune-up on these cars, you know exactly what you need.
Yeah, I do. It's a different mindset being a mechanic and being a driver. There's a lot of big mental game driving, so I have a lot to learn.
What are your goals and your expectations for yourself this season?
Well, just to do good for AAA of Southern California. Eric Medlen last year set the bar, and if I can have as good a season as he did, I'll be good.
So far, how has the testing gone for you guys?
Real good. We had 3 good runs yesterday. Everything went smooth. Today, smoked the tires, and we'll get out there this afternoon and get down the track. That's what I need, runs down the track.
As far as the driving aspect of it, how much influence does John have on you? How much input does he have on you?
Oh, lots. I mean, if he told me to stage the car backwards, I'd do it, because he is the man. He knows how to do it, and he's been there, done everything there is to do wrong. He's made all the mistakes, and he can help me. Hopefully, I won't have to make those mistakes.
Dale, what can we expect from you guys in 2005?
We're hoping over here, just to pick up where we finished off in 2004. Car was running great. The last 5 races of 2004, we felt we had a car that was definitely a championship contender. So we can just pick up where we left off there. Hopefully make the adjustments we need to keep up with the other competitors. That's what we're looking for.
Seems like you guys were definitely there hanging with the Force team, so you have the ability to beat them.
Yeah, no, we definitely did the last few races, and we made some changes over here that maybe, will give us the ability to possibly run, definitely right there with them, or hopefully at some point maybe a little bit ahead of them.
Was it kind of disappointing last year? I know you guys held onto the points lead for a short time. When the nitro changes, when the percentage change came in, guys got kind of lost a little bit and then kind of picked up in the end of the season.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit disappointing. We got up to such a great start, and we between the 2 cars we had won 5 of the first 10 races, and we were going into Denver and had a shot at at what we thought could have been the championship. But I reminded everybody all along, we need to get to Indy with John Force. He makes such a tough run from Denver to Indy, and basically every year that's where he pulls out and wins his championships. And I just kept reminding everybody, hey, we need to get to Indy and have a shot at this thing, and unfortunately we just didn't get there last year.
What, if any, are any changes you're going to make here for this season?
Few changes. We have some things we're just testing, just some basic testing, possibly an injector change. We're going to try new injectors, see if that helps us out. A couple things in the engine, mainly things that will just make them better parts. We felt the car was competitive. It was fast enough to win, but it might not have been a strong enough engine. So we've done some things to make the engine a little bit stronger. They work out. Maybe we can run a little bit harder. Maybe we'll run a little faster.
In testing like this, what exactly are you looking for in the race car?
Normally, we come into a test session, and we're running a new chassis, running a new car, possibly a new body. This year, same chassis, same body, same setup. So we're testing possibly an injector or maybe just some new parts, that we feel could possibly be better and benefit us in the future. Phil's testing a new car right now, getting it shook down, trying to make sure everything works on it. But we're just going to run basically our same car, make sure our combination's still there, and try and pull a couple more hundreds out of it.
All right, Gary, what's in the hopes for 2005?
To make things happen. I don't know, good, bad, or indifferent, but we're going to make things happen. Guys have worked really hard over the winter with our clutch program, and it's something that's kind of been lacking. The car either sets a world's record or it smokes the tire, and finished number 3 in the Powerade points chase, so we need to refine something. We've always had the power, but we need to make it more consistent, and it looks like we're headed in the right direction.
In a test session like this, how radical is the tune-up compared to a typical weekend?
Well, it's race tune-up. I mean, we go to a place here like this in Vegas. The racetrack is outstanding. It's one of the best facilities we come to, so you can run big numbers. You don't run them weak. So we got the Mopar with all the steam it'll make and see what the track will hold.
This class is so competitive, but obviously everybody looks to John Force as the man to topple over.
Well, I mean, where else are you going to look? 13-time world champion. You know, it's just incredible what he's assembled, but he hasn't done it overnight. The people have stayed the same. He lets them do their job. He's got a hell of a budget over there, too. So they get to do a lot of experimenting with 3 cars. We've got 3 cars now that are all well funded. Mopar's got a great research and development team. Dodge is backing us with the aerodynamics. We've got a lot of surprises coming this year. I can't mention right now, but if things go together, we should be right in the middle of their lunch right now.
Yeah, with the addition of Ron Capps to the team, how much does that assist you and Whit in trying to get a championship this year?
Well, what's a big thing is Capps is a veteran driver, so there's no surprises there. If Capps, all 3 of us are running the same type of car right now, so when you ask Ron, hey, what does it feel like here? What does it do there? It's valuable information. It's not someone that's learning or, you kind of take for granted. Does the guy really know what's going on in the car or not? Capps is an excellent driver, and he's going to be a problem with us too this year.
Whit, what's in store for 2005?
Well, hopefully a lot of wins and a lot of success for the Matco Tools Dodge team. But it's preseason testing, and racing being what it is, it's awfully hard to predict results and the year in advance. So all I can tell you though is we feel awfully good. The team is the same with the exception of a handful of guys, but the foundation's the same, and the new guys we have here are so far just doing a tremendous job, and the team has gelled together, and that's key. So we've got a good team. We have all the things in place, and just up to us to go out and make things happen like we know how to do.
What are the elements that it will take to possibly come up with a championship this year?
Well, championships are awfully hard to win apparently, and it's a very tough class. Obviously, Force's team is tremendous, and they're the team that you have to beat. And I think where we fell short last year and perhaps the year before that is we just haven't been as consistent as we need to be with the race car and all aspects of the program. So that's really what we're working on. If we can have a car that goes rounds every race, that's a big step. It's the first round losses that get you, and you can win 4 or 5 races a year, but have a handful of first round losses, and you're not going to win the championship. So I think it's better just to go to the semifinals every weekend and win when you can, but avoid those early round losses.
What are the goals and expectations for yourself this year?
Well, the goal is always to win a championship, and I think the real goal. Having said that, the real goal is to take what we've learned the last few years and try to apply it in a successful way and be more successful than we've been. But we want to win races. We have to avoid the early round losses. We have to have a good, consistent race car week in, week out. And we do that, good things will happen.
Ron, I'm sure this is an exciting prospect for you to come to the Schumacher team.
Yeah, it's obviously with Brute back in the sport and being associated with Schumacher and Mopar, just everything. It's a fresh start, but it's exciting, especially with my teammates Gary Scelzi and Tony Schumacher, of course, won the championship last year in Bazemore, and I've been telling people all weekend it's kind of the first time I've really had a bunch of nervousness in me. I'm used to coming here and kind of having maybe a new car, but every year. But now, I got a new team, a new car, a new owner. So I'm really nervous, and it's going to be interesting to get up there and make the first hit.
What are the expectations and goals for yourself this season?
Well, we set our goals pretty high, and championship is pretty much. I have finished second to Force a couple times, and you get that taste in your mouth, and once you get it, you don't want anything else. So, realistically, we just want to go out. We want to make sure we qualify at every race, and but to be honest with you, I mean, it's championship or nothing is kind of what we're looking at, and we got no excuses. We got the best sponsors, best money, and we got everything. We just need to get the job done.
Yeah, with the 3-car team now, it seems like all the combination is there to make a move on Force.
Yeah, and I'm back with Ed McCulloch, the ace, as my crew chief. We finished second and almost won the championship in 2000, so that's neat. Dan Olson's working with him, and of course the cool part and we're all chasing John Force, but now we got Lee Beard, we got Alan Johnson, we got all these crew chiefs over here that really have kind of put together a great program, and then Ace is able to come in here and just kind of get everything together and talk these crew chiefs, and it's real neat to see all these teams. You look at the Hendricks and you look at Childress and those guys over there, and seeing what they've done and how these guys all talk with different teams and share information. And for us, it's crucial. We need to do that. And as drivers, myself and Baze and Scelzi, we were all good friends, so we're able to sit down and talk about different things.
Sophomore season in a funny car, what are you expecting from yourself?
Well, I think not only myself, but for the whole team, we're expecting a little bit lower number on the car at the end of the year. That's what everybody's going for, that coveted #1 spot. John, he pretty much owns the rights to that thing, and it kind of shows coming out here to Vegas Motor Speedway. His startup Mustang, that thing is unbelievable. The very first run out, it ran 480, and I think Coyle probably told him to shut it off at half track, but he didn't care. It's his stuff. But ours looks pretty good too. We got a good group of guys. A lot of the same guys came back. And of course my dad, he's doing a fantastic job. So we're hoping for some great things. We got a new body going to come out for our Syntec Mustang. And along with Castrol Syntec, we got some great sponsors that are still on board. Ford Motor Company and Auto Club, which is a big deal for us because without their support, you can't do it. And it takes dollars. They say money builds championships. But I don't agree because there's a lot of guys out here that's got as much money or more than us. And for some reason, John Force Racing keeps winning those championships. So it's got a lot to do with the guys that are behind the scenes. And those are the guys I'd like to give a lot of credit to because a lot of the credit never gets to them. And it should because, man, without them, we're just a couple idiots in these cars trying to go straight. They're the ones that make the calls.
Ashley, with preseason testing, how's it been going so far?
Good. There's been some changes in my category. I run the A-Fuel Dragster, and they've changed the percentage of fuel to 96%, whereas last year it was 100%. So just changes like that we're getting adjusted to and making whatever changes in the car for the season. But we have a few more weeks of testing before we have to compete, so.
Obviously, you got to be pretty happy with the season last year.
Yeah, we had a great first season. I don't know how to beat a few of those moments, winning Indy and winning with my dad at the last race of the year. But every race you learn something, and there was plenty of times I made mistakes. So hopefully I learned from last year and I can improve a little. And I have a really great team, and we're just excited to start the year again.
What is the goal for this season?
Just to be competitive and to have fun and go as many rounds as we can each race. Same as every year.
Is a championship in your mind?
Yeah, it's always in your mind, but you don't want to look, at least for me, I don't want to get ahead of myself and screw myself up. So I kind of just think of each race as it comes, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll land a pretty good spot.
Morgan, as we look to 2005, what are your hopes and expectations?
Well, I mean, to win the championship, of course, that's our number one goal. But I think just this year is to finish solidly in the points, to go out and win some races, I guess, and just do our best. That's really it. We got our good sponsors, my parents with Lucas Oil, Keystone Driver FX people, and Snap-on's on board this year, and you got to do the best you can for them too, because a happy sponsor is a good sponsor, right? Well, just going to carry our commitments, like I said, chase the championship and win races. That's all we're going to do.
Looking at the few races you did have in this car last year, it was a pretty good season for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we did 8 races, and if somebody told me it took 35 to 40 laps to get really comfortable in one of these cars and, catch up with them, because they're pretty quick, pull 6 Gs at some points of the run, and they were right, every bit of 35, 40 laps. And I think right around that 30, lap zone, I started feeling comfortable, and, we started going more rounds, and, I got a good crew. Wayne's a great crew chief. His brother's, I guess team manager, and Joe's a good boss. And all my boys, they're great guys. So last year it couldn't have went any better for the given circumstances of what had happened last year. And I think that, we did the best we can to represent everything that was going on last year. So this year is going to be a lot of fun, chase points. First time I actually chased points where I didn't have to throw any races out, on a different point series. So I'm excited to get to do that, and get to race against the big boys like Dixon and everybody and see how we finish. So I think we got a good chance at it too.